My name is Kurt Zettlemoyer. I'm a Gracie Baja black belt, head instructor and owner of Gracie Baja Champions in Houston, Texas. Still actively competing, and today I want to show you a little bit of an unorthodox pinning position using the lapels from side control and some attacks that come with the position. So using the far side lapel to pin my opponent from the half guard position to begin my pass, I'm going to open his lapel, pass it to my other hand. It's very important that this hand grabs high by the armpit. As you pass this, you don't want this grip to be closer to my opponent's neck because he's going to give him a lot of freedom to move. Once I make that pass and grip by his armpit, it gives me a lot of control, gives me that crossbody pin on my opponent. Difficult for him to move. I'm going to switch my hips so I'm looking at this guy's feet. And now I'll take my foot and walk it towards his butt. He's clamping down hard on my leg. As I walk my foot towards his butt, it's going to make it easier for me to free my knee. Try to push here just to free your knee. And then to finish the pass, I'm going to hip escape away and bring my knee into his hip and wedge into where his leg and hip meet. Go from pushing his leg away to now I'm going to pull it and drive my knee into his hip, which is going to allow me to back step and continue on to the side control position with the far side lapel. Once again, looking to pass the half guard into side control. I'm going to open up my opponent's far side lapel, hand off to my other hand. I'm looking for that high grip to where my hand is in his armpit. It's going to allow me to keep him pinned. Now I have a nice crossbody pin. I'm going to drop into back base looking at my opponent's feet. My next thing I need to do is get my knee free. Secure this guy's leg. And I'm just going to walk my foot towards his butt. Once I walk my foot towards his butt, it gets very easy for me to free my knee. The problem is getting the rest of my leg out. I'm going to create a wedge with my bottom knee by hip escaping, put my rear end up, and then I'm going to drop my knee into where his hip and his leg connect. The bottom knee is in the air, it's not on the ground. I want a nice wedge. And now I can push that knee into that position, and I go from pushing his leg to pulling his leg, back stepping, returning, pushing his hips away, and going to my side control position with the far side lapel. I open up my opponent's lapel, passing and reaching high into his armpit. I'm now going to drop into back base, looking at my opponent's feet. To begin to free my knee, just going to walk my foot to his butt. I'm looking to get my knee out. Now to continue with the pass, I'm not just going to hip escape. I'm going to hip escape and I'm going to drive my hip up, and then I'm going to drop in and bring my knee into his hip, right where the leg and the hip meet. This bottom knee is not on the ground. I want to have more of a wedging action here. And now I went from pushing to get my knee free to pulling this guy's arm and back stepping out. Returning back to my more traditional side control position, maintain that far side lapel.
One thing is it rubs into your ribs.
Yeah.
It's nice stuff.
So now that I'm in side control, I still have my far side lapel from my pass. I'm going to maintain that position. It gives me a great pinning position on this far side shoulder. A little bit more unorthodox is then taking the near side lapel and using that to help you immobilize and control your opponent. So I'm going to stay heavy on my opponent and begin to open the near side lapel. And now I'm going to pull it like I pull a rope tight, and I'm pulling it at an angle here. I move my leg out of the way, and now I'm looking to bring my knee on top of the lapel portion of the gi. I don't care about the thin portion. I want everything on the fat portion. of his gi. I pull it out. I pull it straight down like a rope. And now I drop my knee on the inside of his lapel. Once I drop that position, now I'm going to slide my knee towards his armpit, and I can reinforce this grip with my hand here. I have this nice grip on the far side lapel, my arm under his neck where I can put pressure on him, and I've dropped my knee into his armpit, and I have pressure here on the other side of the lapel. The interesting part of this position is that I'm now immobilized my opponent, but I've broken a lot of the rules of jiu-jitsu, and I have no weight on this guy. It's a very difficult position for him to try to escape from. There's a couple of attacks that we have from here. One of my favorites, those begin attacking the back. I go from the low grip on this gi to now reaching inside of my knee and once again into his armpit. I'm going to lift him up and take his back, pulling him into the back control. You need any audio at all or no? No audio, just run it? Another edit from it, sure. So let's go. I'm now past my opponent's guard. I still have his far side lapel grip. And now I'm looking to use his near side lapel to help continue to keep him pinned. I open his lapel and I'm going to pull it towards at an angle towards his feet, making sure that it's nice and straight. I then take my knee and I'm going to staple the thick part of his gi to the mat with my knee. Once I make that initial contact, I slide my knee up towards his armpit. I can pull on this gi here, and I continue this invisible immobilization and pin on my opponent here. We had some different attacks from this position. It's a unique position in the sense that he doesn't have my weight on him, but because I have both shoulders under control, it's very difficult for him to move or escape. One of my favorites is the back take from here. I let go of this grip, take my hand and grab his lapel inside of my knee close to his armpit. I now begin lifting him. This leg slides under and I pull him into the back take. Sliding my knee into his armpit, lifting his neck, putting pressure on his neck. I now expose this armpit, and I'll take my hand from low on the lapel to high on his armpit here. I begin my back take by lifting him up, and I'm going to take my leg by his head, slide under, and begin the back take. If I get my first hook in and I feel that I'm losing the race of him turning towards me, I can reinforce his lapel with my shin, bring him back to that position, and then, of course, finish with my back take. Anytime I feel like, before I establish this back position, that he's going to start to turn on me, I can then once again control him and look for my attacks.